What are the different scenarios where we will work in the real-time projects or the scenario-based interview questions in Power BI? Hi, I'm M. Asif Hussain from KnowHow Academy. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 interview questions. I will even show you the scenarios of each question, and I will make your question much more easier by giving them the hint for each of the question. This video is going to be very interesting because in this video, I will show you the scenario, I will show you the hint, we will give you the data set. So let's start working on it. The first question that we are talking about is we have a data set which is of a sales dashboard, and the manager wants to see a visual with the top 5 products based upon the sales for the year. Okay, so you can consider the current year or you can consider the last year that we have it in the data set, current or last year. Now, how would you approach this using a DAX function, and which visuals are we going to use it? So this is the question. So for this, we can use top N as a filter to see the top 5 products based upon the sales, okay, for the year that we have in a data set, and we can show this information using a bar chart or a column chart visual. Either you take a stacked bar chart or you take a stacked column chart, or you take a clustered bar chart, or you take a clustered column chart in Power BI to display the top 5 products effectively. So this is the first question. I'm repeating it again. We have a sales dashboard. In this dashboard, we have a sales data. In this sales data, the manager wants to see what are the top 5 products based upon the sales for the current year. So if you do not have a current year 2024 in the data set, we can consider the last year that we have in our data set. Okay, so this is the hint for it. Now if I talk to you about the next question, so a client wants a dynamic report that allows them to compare sales performance. They want to compare the sales performance over different regions. So in our data set we have 4 regions: south, west, east and central. Okay, so based upon these regions, how much are the sales that we want to compare it. So we also want to filter the data by the product categories. Okay, what are the different types of product categories we have? On that basis also we would like to differentiate it. So for this we have to use the calculate function and a filter function to find out the sales performance. That is first thing. And the second thing is that using a slicer in Power BI, we can filter the data based upon the categories that they have asked for. So this is the hint for this question. You use a calculate DAX function and we can use a filter DAX function. Based upon these 2 DAX functions, we can find out the result out of it, and we can use the slicers to show the different product categories whatever we have. And this proper question, we can show it in a line chart, area chart or clustered column charts to visualize the sales performance across different regions over time duration. Okay, so all these questions that I'm showing it to you, this might be asked in your interviews in the same way, and you need to even there are 2 ways of answering these type of questions in interview. Number 1, either you tell them orally the hint how are you going to solve it, or number 2, either you practically show them in a Power BI desktop. Okay, so I am giving you the first way of answering it. I am giving you the question, I am giving you the hint, and I am even telling you which visuals to use it. Now in our description you can find out the data set for this particular questions, and from that you can even download it and practice it, do the solution of these questions, share it to us to the email ID which we have mentioned in the description. Alright, so if I talk to you about the next scenario, so we have a customer information. Let's understand this question very carefully. We have a customer information. In this customer information we have purchase history. Okay, so which customer have purchased which product, how many products, all these informations we have it. Now the client wants to see a visual that displays the distribution of customers based upon what? Based upon the purchases. For example, Asif Hussain is a customer. What all the products Asif Hussain has purchased, how many products he has purchased, what is the quantity of the products, all these are the purchase history. Okay, so using the DAX function we need to create a calculated column or a measure for this, and which visual would we choose it to represent the distribution. So for this, the very easy hint is that we can use the DAX functions like summarize, where it will summarize all the purchase history of the customers, and the count rows to get customers based upon their total purchases. Then at last we can use a bar chart or a pie chart visual to represent these information in a Power BI visual section. So it is very simple. Please do not think it in a too complicated way. We have a data set. In that data set we have customers information, what all the products they have purchased. Now the question is that the clients wants to see the distribution of customers based upon their total purchases. For example, Raj Darji purchased these many products. Okay, so how many products he has purchased, what is the quantity of the products. So all this information we have it in a purchase history. That's what we would like to show it in a result. For this we have to use a summarize or a count row as a DAX function, and we need to find it out. So let me see how many of you can answer it in a correct way. Let me walk you over the next question. The next question is, your company is interested in understanding customer retention rates. So how would you use a DAX function to calculate the percentage of customers who made repeated purchases with a specified time period? For example, in the month of April 2020 or in the month of April 2018, Asif Hussain has done multiple purchases and repeated the purchases. Okay, so they want to see what is the percentage of customers. They would like to see what is the percentage of customers who made the repeated purchases, within the specified time period. So your interesting thing is that we did not mention any time period here. A time period can be considered from your end. Whatever the time period you want, you can choose it. So for this we can use count rows, calculate and earlier DAX functions to calculate the percentage of customers who made the repeated purchases with a specified time frame. And in order to show this solution, we can use the line chart or a stacked bar chart in Power BI, so that we can easily see the business perspective of this particular question. So in order to show the values in the terms of percentages, we can use 100% stacked bar chart or 100% stacked column chart, which will be very much helpful. So if I talk to you with the next question. Next question is very interesting. You are working on a financial report that requires calculating year to date sales and expenses. Okay, let us do not talk about the expenses. So let us talk about the sales. Okay, so we are working on a data set where we have, and we need to calculate YTD, year to date sales. Okay, so how would we find it out, our year to date sales, using a DAX function, and what kind of visual are you going to choose in order to show this solution in a Power BI? So for this, to calculate year to date, for the total sales, if you want to find out year to date, we can use Total YTD as a DAX function. We can use Total YTD as a DAX function to calculate year to date total sales, and we can show this considered YTD sales in a line chart, area chart or a clustered column chart in Power BI. So this is very interesting. So we can show this kind of year to date. In order to find out this total YTD, whether you choose a calculated column or calculated measure, what are you going to choose? It's up to you. So these are the 5 questions, scenario based interview questions, that you might face or you will be getting in interviews whenever you are attending an interviews of Power BI. So these are the hints of each question. I am requesting everyone to please take some time, look over the data set, look over the question. Even these 5 questions will be there in the description to you. You can even go through these questions again. You can consider the hints again, and you can obviously practice it, do it in Power BI, share us to our email ID. And if you want to answer these questions easier way in a comment section, you can obviously comment us in a YouTube. So thank you for choosing KnowHow Academy as your source for IT knowledge. We are always here to help you to navigate the tech world. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. It's been a pleasure sharing this information with you. Stay curious, keep learning.